was an Aviation Radioman first class in a TBM torpedo bomber during World War II. I'm 92 years old, and I'm sitting in the back of a TBM Avenger, same plane I flew in off the USS Hornet. The last time I was in a TBM was 72 years ago. It is so nice to be back in one. This is amazing. I will never forget this. Any plane is a great plane that will bring you back. And the Avenger, for us, brought us back every time we went on a strike. And that's pretty important. That's why I like it. The first thing I recognized was altimeter. And it looks just like the one that we used. Temperature, that could be used once in a while, I guess. There's a lot of pressure in a dive, and the plane's heavy. It can move pretty fast. It can gain speed. We could do close to 4 Gs, and that's 4 times your body weight. When Joe would pull that many Gs, I'd just collapse. Mike and I had no control over that. If Joe would be on a target and he would nose over just a little bit steeper, I would look out at the wingtips and they'd be wrinkled. I'd think, just hold on a little bit longer. I hung on to anything I could grab a hold of. Anything that, like the back of the seat, anything like a pipe that I could get my hand around, anything that I could hold up, stay in one place so I didn't get thrown around. I also at times grabbed the ribs of the plane for support, and that helped. So, but when I had a camera, that camera was trouble, because trying to stay upright in a dive and holding onto that camera that was heavy. But I took a lot of pictures too, so I guess it was all right. One time I felt my face pulling down, pulling out of a dive, and I tried to look up at Mike to see what he looked like, and then I saw Mike's face just pull down. It must have been an inch or more. And I tried to laugh, but I couldn't because my face was looking like his. But people might like to know about another part of my job in the back of the plane. We were going around and finally getting ready to make the dive. Joe would call back and he would say, "Verg, we're about ready." And that meant my cue to get the 2 boxes of chaff. And chaff is a bunch of metal strips, 1/4 of an inch wide, paper thin, mess up the radar that the enemy was using. And I'd lean him up against the door and open the tops and grab a handful and get it up close to the door. And I could only get the door open about 2 inches with one hand, and I was grabbing the chaff with the other one. And I'd just get it up like 6 inches from the opening, it'd be gone. The pressure would take it out of my hand. I'd reach in and get another handful, same thing, gone. It didn't take long to empty those 2 boxes. We never knew exactly how much it helped, but we got back, so I'd say it helped us. After a strike, we would get up, pull up 5,000 feet. I'd turn the radar on. I would try to pick up the Hornet. The Hornet sent out a radar signal, and if we were at the right altitude and the right mileage, we could pick up that signal. Because of the curvature of the Earth, that had a bearing on how far we could pick up the signal. Usually at a couple 100 miles, at 5,000 feet, we'd go till it was about 91 or 94 miles before we could tell it was the Hornet. Any object would send a blip. That's what made radar. The Hornet's blip was a little bit different. And if I could notice the difference in those blips, I could tell how far we were from the Hornet. And with that radar signal, if Joe happened to be flown off course from a strong wind, that he would know how strong it was. If it blew us off course 2 or 3 degrees, I could tell Joe exactly what his heading needed to be on course directly straight to the Hornet. Never thought I would have a chance to sit in one like this and look around to see what I saw 72 years ago. And it's just like a homecoming. Makes me feel good to know that I'm in a plane like the one we flew in that brought us back and did such a good job while we were in combat. And it's a privilege to sit in one now and reminisce. I'll think about this the rest of my life.